Welcome to Better with Brii Renee, the podcast where we get real, get honest, and get better, one conversation at a time. Here we talk all things family, faith, finances, and everything that just feels good to the soul. This is your safe space to grow, to heal, and to elevate. Because better isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. So whether you're working on your mindset, your money, or your relationships, you're in the right place. So let's keep it real, keep it light, and most importantly, keep getting better. Because better starts with you, starts with us. It starts with Better with Brii Renee. Welcome back to another episode of Better with Brii Renee. I'm Brii Renee, and this is the podcast where we keep it real, keep it light, and of course, keep getting better, one conversation at a time. Of course, each and every episode, I have to give you a better perspective. Now, my better perspectives are sometimes maybe better depending on your opinion, but these are always my opinion on trending news topics or things that I see all over the internet. And this one again has been irking my nerves. Now, I know y'all probably saw a couple weeks ago, everybody was clowning Travis Hunter for marrying his girlfriend that was quote unquote looked at as maybe a little loose. Some people have opinions about whether she's with him for the money or she really genuinely loves him. But I think the deeper issue is, why is everybody clowning this man for marrying somebody that he actually loves? I feel like we have a shortage of Black marriage. We have a shortage of real men standing up and declaring their love out loud. And the issue for me is y'all clowning this man for getting married, which is the right thing to do, but y'all don't be clowning men for doing the wrong thing. Nobody clowning the Stefan Diggs or the other men who be running through women online. We never clown those men for being pass-arounds. But yet nobody clowns the men for running through women or being community peen. Okay, we don't clown them for that, but then we clown them for choosing to settle down and love one woman out loud. I feel like that's so corny, that's so lame, and it's so played. So I think the better perspective is, let's congratulate Black love, whether you agree with his choice of woman or not. Because at the end of the day, he loves her and he choosing to be with her, regardless of who she been with or what she did in the past. And at the end of the day, some of y'all better hope somebody choose you and love you despite your past. Because men, y'all bodies be running up too. So let's keep it real, all right? And that's my better perspective today. So today, our main topic is the last single friend. Now, I recently found myself being the last single friend. And by single, I mean three of my friends are already married and the other two have recently been engaged to their long-standing relationships and their boyfriends. So I'm like, oh my God, y'all, I am the only one without a ring on my finger. And technically that means I'm single. I'm dating, but still, like, ain't no ring on this finger. So we're going to talk about what that looks like, what that feels like, and how I'm redefining being that last single friend. To be the last single friend in the group, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was so excited for my last two homegirls to get engaged. Like, I literally cried, ugly cry. I got screenshots of when they FaceTimed me, like ugly cried for them, because I felt like I had been with them and our friendship have withstood so many different relationships or versions of themselves. So while one part of me is genuinely happy and excited for my girls to be getting married, the other part of me was looked in the mirror and was like, girl, what is wrong with you? Where is your man at? Well, why your man ain't put a ring on your finger? Or why haven't you found, quote unquote, the one? What does that look like? I think I had a lot of deep self-talk of like, have I been dating wrong? Is something wrong with me? Did I waste time? Am I wasting time? Like, I had to really look in the mirror and question myself and question my dating journey. So it was scary. I ain't gonna lie. It was scary. And it made me feel a little self-conscious at first. But at the end of the day, I'm not a hater. And I feel like that's the most important part. You can't be a hater because you got to be happy for somebody else's journey as well. Even when it's not your time to win, you still got to be cheering for those who are winning. So I'm still very much excited and happy and joyful for my girls that are about to get married. And of course, I always looked at my friends that are married as like quote unquote goals, or I look to them for relationship advice on how to date for marriage. I feel like in society, there are so many pressures when it comes to dating and marriage, especially for women. And then I think it's even harder as a Black woman because we're looked at like, oh, there was this phenomenon online, like after you over a certain age in your 30s, you're washed up or you got to settle for less. There was this rhetoric that was being pushed to us for a really long time about how our value lessened because we weren't married by a certain age. So I did feel the pressure, a little bit of society to be like, okay, I got to look for the one. I got to find the one. Where's the one? Where's the one? And while I do feel like I'm dating intentionally, like if you're not my husband, if you're not it, you got to go. But I'm also giving myself grace because the one comes for some of us later than others, or the one that perfect love story, quote unquote, blossoms at different times of your life. Like I look at people who I don't even know for inspiration as well, like Sierra. We all know the Sierra prayer, and we all know, Sierra's dating was up and down. She went down before she went up, okay? And her up didn't come till later. I think she was in her 40s when she finally got married and had her first child. So I had to really look at myself like, your journey is going to be for you. And then I had to look at some of the stuff that I used to tell myself too, like, when I was younger, I used to say that I didn't even want to be married before 30 because I felt like my first 30 years of life needed to be for me. And then the last 30 to 40, 50, whatever, could be for my family. So it's like, this is what you wanted anyway. Don't let society change how you already had your life planned out. I decided to separate my worth from my relationship status. I decided that I am loved. I am valued. I am a woman of value. I provide value, and I'm worthy of unconditional love, whether I'm in a healthy or a sustainable relationship or not. I feel like society tries to put your worth as a woman on whether or not you're married and have children. And I think as women, we all know that we're so much more than a relationship status or the title motherhood. We're more than that. And while that might be one of your greatest joys or greatest titles to add to your list, we know that first you were you before you were ever a wife. Before you were ever a mother, you had to bring and be whole and be of value before you became those things. So I decided to focus on where I am in that journey and continue to build up the things about me that I love about me. Like, I love that I'm a great friend. I love that I'm reliable. I love that I'm a go-getter. I love that I chase every dream I've ever had. So those things are what I place value in myself. And I decided, what do I value? Because sometimes being with a man or being in an unhealthy relationship just to say you got one is not the way to go. That's not it for me. I don't value that. So to me, that's pathetic. So I'm not going to do it. So I was like, I had to detach that society will say being a wife or a mom makes you more valuable as a woman, and look at what really matters to me and what I really value. And then I place my value into my own personal list and not what society was saying. And I had to ask myself, do you really want that right now? With everything you got going on in life, is that what you really want? Or is that just what society is telling you should want at this point in your life? Because once you separate what you truly desire versus what people are telling you to want, then you really find where to place your value. I feel like some misconceptions people have about being single are that you're unhappy, that you're lonely, that you're miserable, that you're lost, that you're unlucky when it comes to dating. And that's just not the case. I've had some really great relationships that didn't work out, and I've had some not so great relationships that didn't work out. And right now, I would say I am the most happy or whole in myself that I've ever been. And I don't think I've ever been that or been this way in a relationship. I think that it took me to be single or be in this single phase right now to fully find myself and figure out who I am, to love myself at a deeper level. And because of that, I feel more whole than I ever have. And I'm having a ball. Like I said, I am in a relationship, I'm dating, but I'm not lonely at all. And even before I got in this relationship, I filled my time up with things that I enjoyed doing and with my community. I think that a lot of people believe that if you are single or not married, that you don't have community or family. You still have family that love you. You still have friends that you can surround yourself with. You still have things that you can do. I also feel like people think that just because you are not in a relationship or not married, that you aren't going out and having fun. You can go out on dates. You could take yourself on a date. You can, do things with your friends. And I think this is the most busy I've ever been, actually, in this season of my life. So yeah, don't listen to what people tell you or society makes you believe being single is or not being married is, because you can create that yourself. I feel like I have a lot of pros to not being married that I think my married and engaged friends don't get to take advantage of, or they even tell me sometimes that they miss. Like, I live alone and they miss living alone. They're like, wow, your space is all your space. Or if you want to have girl dinner at night, you can literally eat popcorn and whatever you want to do, you can do it without having to put someone else first. And you don't have to think about their needs or desires. Especially my friends that have kids, they're like, their schedule, their life revolves around their husband and their children. And because I don't have that, guess who makes the rules, baby? It's me. It's all about me. So I think that we rush into that phase of being married or wanting kids, and we forget that this will probably be the last time you ever have the freedom to be selfish. So I'm taking full advantage of my selfishness right now. Like, if I don't want to talk, I don't have to talk. If I want to sit in the house in silence, I have free will to do so. And there's nobody that is required or obligated to my time. I get to decide what I want to eat, when I want to eat it, how I want to eat it, if I don't want to eat, you know what I mean? And even if I want my room to be messy, I can keep my room messy and dirty, and nobody's judging me. Why? Because I live here. I pay the bills. I do what I want to do. This is my space. So I feel like a lot of my friends who are married or engaged that are living with their partners, they don't get the opportunity to take advantage of that, and they miss that. They often tell me that they miss the freedom of selfishness. I personally had the opposite of the pressured timeline that a lot of people have. So like, growing up, I always knew I would be successful. And because I never saw Black women especially be super successful and married, I thought I had to choose. So I thought that in order to be a successful Black woman, an entrepreneur, or a successful entertainment industry like the Oprahs, the Tracy Ellis Rosses, I had to be single, that no man was going to love me or choose to allow me to chase my dreams. And I wasn't willing to compromise that. So in my head, I was like, I don't have to get married. I probably won't get married. But so because of that, I don't have that. I didn't have to grieve the thought of, oh, I'll be married by 30. Because again, I told y'all, I never thought I would be married. And if I did, I didn't think I would be married by 30. So I didn't have to let go of that dream. I'm actually redefining now, because of the new examples that we have, that I can still be sexy. I can still chase my dreams. I can have a family, and I can have it all, because I don't feel like we got a lot of those examples growing up. So I'm grateful that now we're seeing women balance both entertainment, having careers, whether it's 9-to-5s, and still having families, and still having supportive husbands, and still having men that, allow them to chase their dreams. So now I'm redefining that, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to choose between myself and my career and a family. I actually can have both if I find the right partner. Looking for the perfect space to bring your vision to life? Welcome to Visionaire Production Studios, where creativity meets capability. With over 10 dynamic sets, including a fully equipped kitchen set, we're built for creators, brands, and dreamers who don't just want content, they want cinema. Whether you're shooting a podcast, cooking show, campaign, or content series, we've got the space and the team to help you make magic and bring any vision to life. If you can see it, we can help you shoot it. Let's turn your vision into production at Visionaire Production Studios. I'm staying confident in my singleness without slipping into defensiveness or pretending like I don't care. by continuously reminding myself of what my true desires and goals are and being honest with myself. I feel like sometimes we, put on that shell of hardness of like, okay, well, if I'm not married, I don't got to be married, or I don't got to have kids. If I don't have kids, I don't care. But deep down inside, I do want kids. I do want a loving, faithful husband. And I know I'm going to get that. So I remind myself that I can have that. And I give myself permission to dream about the things that I want and desire. And I let myself know that it's okay to still want those things, even if you don't have them yet. My internal compass when it comes to dating now has shifted more to what my standards are. Like, I had to really get real and make a list about what my non-negotiables are, what I believe my relationship should be built on, and what I truly desire. And now I look at like, is this meeting my standards? Like the bare minimum? Nobody's gonna be perfect. But what makes me truly happy? What makes me feel fulfilled in a relationship? And if it's not that, then it ain't gonna work. Okay. I'm like, at this point, I'm leading based off of also what I really want out of a relationship and what I've dated enough to know what matters most to me and what society is telling me I should want. So like, we all look at on Instagram and we see the girls who dating, the rappers, the athletes or whatever, and every other week they get in a car or they get in the bags and they get in flown, like all this lavish stuff. And yes, I'm a girl. Trust me, buy me nice things. I'm not going to say I don't like nice things, but what matters most to me is a loving, faithful man, somebody who is going to support me, somebody who's going to be there when times are hard. Like, these are the things that I have grown to realize matter way more, because that Chanel bag ain't going to hold me at night when life is getting rough. That car, I can't cry in the car, and I don't want to cry, period. But even crying, because life is hard, that car is not going to wipe my tears. That car is not going to cover up infidelity or issues that are deeply rooted in a relationship. So I decided to look at what matters most to me, and that's how I stay rooted while dating. When people try to give me unsolicited dating advice or even try to set me up with people, I just be nice and polite like my normal self, and I smile and I be like, I trust my timing. God got me, baby. He know who and where and when it's supposed to happen and how it's supposed to happen. I also wish people understood that being unmarried is not something as a woman you need to be saved from. It's actually quite all right. And sometimes safer, because the way some of y'all husbands out here acting and the way some of y'all baby daddies, like the relationships y'all be floating around, it don't even be as all that y'all making it seem. So it's like, this is actually a safe space for me to continue to learn myself, to grow, to evolve into the best version of myself, so that when my husband is ready for me, I'm ready for him. And I'm actually creating a life that is whole and full before the marriage, because I think a lot of women sometimes are in these relationships and it's hard for them to leave because they never got a chance to understand who they were outside of a relationship. And I think that's most important. So for me, I don't need saving, baby. I'm over here creating the life of my dreams one day at a time. Right now, I am creating a life that is full of self-love. I'm pouring myself into my friendships, my family, the projects and passions that bring me joy, that light me up, that make me feel full again. So I don't ever have to lean on a relationship as a crutch. These things are making me have a life that's so full that sometimes I forget that I don't have a husband. And I don't feel like that is a major issue. I'm maximizing my singleness. I feel like a lot of women, sometimes we are so focused on that timeline that we forget that, again, this will be the only time that you have to be this selfish, to do what you want to do. So I'm enjoying all of that in this season, and maximizing what single is to me right now. Being the last quote unquote single friend has shaped the way I show up in my friendships, because I'm being more intentional. I'm listening more intensively as well. Like when they're talking about the ups and downs of their relationships, I'm taking all that in. I'm learning, okay, everybody that's in the long-term relationship is not going to feel that lovey-dovey, oh, I'm so obsessed with this person feeling all the time, and that's normal, that's okay. Or everybody's going to go through something at some point, and that's okay. And I'm taking note of how they navigate and get through those things, so that when I'm presented with certain obstacles in my marriage, I'm learning how to overcome those things and be a better wife. I'm taking all the notes. I'm showing up. I'm using this time to again explore my own creativity. And another thing, I feel like I didn't say this enough, but another thing that I feel like we don't realize you have the opportunity to take advantage of right now while you're single is creative freedom. Like, you have full opportunity to chase all of your dreams and achieve everything you want to achieve, whether it's traveling or creatively or in your career. Because when you have a family, you are going to have to struggle with balancing your passions and your family. So I'm doing that right now, but I'm also showing up in my friendships and being more intentional about showing up to the kids' birthdays and trying not to miss what's important to them, because I know that when it's my time, I'm gonna want my community to show up for me the same way. If someone was to tell me they felt behind in love, I would just simply tell them, you are not behind. Love is not a race. Love does not have a deadline. You are not on anybody else's timeline. You are beating to the rhythm of your own drum. And the most beautiful relationships come when you're deeply rooted in yourself first. And remember, you've already found your first and longest and last love, which is you. All right, guys, each and every episode, I invite you guys to submit your questions, and I will give you my opinion or advice on whatever topics you may have. So one of my YouTube cousins, shout out to my cousins that are subscribed to my channel. If you ain't subscribed, you're not a cousin. One of my cousins asked me under my most recent vlog, how do I balance everything that I'm doing in life and still achieve all of my goals? So I'm going to tell you straight up, cousin, ain't no such thing as balance. If you're looking for everything to be it's not in order all the time, okay? Some days I'm all the way locked in on vlogging. Some days I'm all the way locked in on my fitness. Some days I'm not locked in on nothing. But what I try to do is never let it go too long or never let too much time go by without tapping into things that need to be done. I always do brain dumps. And brain dumps are not to-do lists. They're different. So I might do a massive brain dump at the beginning of every month of just everything that is in my head. It might be as something as small as clean out the garage, make sure I do my taxes, email my videographer back, pay an invoice, submit an invoice that need to be paid, check up on this. Like, I do a dump of everything. All that nagging stuff that's in your head when you driving in the car, when you trying to go to sleep, all those things that are coming up, I do brain dumps, right? Once I do brain dumps and get all of it out, because it mentally makes me feel clearer. It makes me feel like there's less clutter in my head. Once I get it out, then I will make a realistic to-do list. So like that garage getting clean, it ain't been cleaned yet. Okay, it's still in the brain dump list. It ain't never made it to the to-do list. It still ain't got done. But I'll put on the to-do list for that week some of the things that I know can realistically get done. Like, okay, I can sit down and email my videographer back and send him the paperwork I need to send him. Or I can pay these invoices today. I can respond to these emails today. Like, I will make a weekly to-do list from the brain dump. And then I go through and do a daily to-do list. Now, on my daily to-do list, I'm very realistic because I know that I got to work out. I know that things are going to happen and come up. I know that people are going to call, text, email, whatever. So I typically don't put anything more than 3 major things on my daily to-do list. If I get 3 big things done, think about it. That's 3, 6, 9, 15. 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, 15 things done off of the to-do list at the end of the week. So if you just take little baby steps of getting things done, I think that we try to do so much every day that you burn yourself out. And today might be a day where I'm only focused on podcasting. So today I'm only doing 3 major things that have to do with the podcast. Or tomorrow might be only about vlogging. Like, whatever it is, you can block it out how you want to. Or maybe one day is 3 random things that had to do with 3 different areas of my life. Don't overwhelm yourself. Do it little bit by little bit and it'll all get done. Okay, y'all. You already know, if you've been following me for a while, I always had a segment called Affirmations, which are affirmations that we keep all the way true. And this week's affirmation, of course, is about love because that's what our topic is about. And my affirmations rhyme a little bit because, I was a rapper. In my Atlanta heart, I'm a rapper. Big Lotto. No, just Big Lotto could see about me. Okay, no, but for real. Basically, this affirmation is, you've already found the one, your first and last love, the one that you can put above everyone else. So this affirmation just basically means stop looking for the one. You are the one. And like I said earlier, this is the first person you fall in love with. This is the last person that you'll spend the rest of your life with. This is your longest lasting love. It's going to be you. So whether you're in a relationship or you're single or you're dating, just take time to enjoy yourself and continue to build that love within yourself because you are who matter most. All right, guys. Thank you for watching another episode of Better with Brii Renee. I'm Brii Renee. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned to every episode of Better with Brii Renee. You can watch on my YouTube channel or you can listen on audio platforms anywhere where you listen to podcasts. See you next time.